Hi everyone, welcome to week 3 of our Christianity unit, People of God. We're going to continue with the story of Moses this week. Can you remember the story so far? Use the pictures to retell it. So Moses has gone and asked Pharaoh to let the people go, but Pharaoh says no. Let's find out what happened next.
So Moses went to Pharaoh, who was hard-hearted and stubborn. He refused to allow Israel to leave his country. He liked having them as his slaves. Moses warned him that God would act, but Pharaoh was unimpressed. It took 10 terrible plagues to change his mind. There was a plague that turned the river Nile into blood, a plague of frogs, of gnats, of flies on farm animals, of boils, of hail, of locusts and of darkness. The final plague was the most tragic. All of the firstborn children in the country were to die. The people of Israel were spared. Finally, Pharaoh gave in. Moses did as God had commanded and led the people out of slavery into a new land. This great move was called the Exodus, but the people...
God wasn't happy with Pharaoh for not releasing the people, so he sent 10 plagues. Let's have a look at what those 10 plagues were again. The first one was that all water was turned to blood. Then there were frogs. Imagine so many frogs everywhere that they crept into your house, your bed, your clothes, on you. Then there were gnats, little biting flies which made you itch. Then there were flies everywhere. The fifth plague was that animals got diseases and they died. The sixth plague was boils on the people's skin. They were horrible. The seventh plague was hail. Huge stones coming from the sky, hurting the animals and the people. Then there were locusts that ate all the crops, so this affected the food. Number 9 was darkness for 3 days. Even in the daytime, it was dark. And then the worst of all, number 10, was that the firstborn sons of everybody, including the Pharaoh, died. This week, our learning objective is to understand how God freed his people from slavery in Egypt. So let's think about these 10 plagues. What do you think Moses was thinking and feeling during the plagues in Egypt? He'd been sent to Pharaoh to ask him to free the Israelites. Pharaoh had said no, and so there were 10 plagues sent to him. And how do you think Pharaoh felt? Moses had warned him, but he didn't listen. What do you think he was thinking now? Your task this week is to think about how you would have felt if you were Pharaoh or Moses or the Israelite people during this time of the 10 plagues. Draw Moses and Pharaoh in your book with a thought bubble to show what each of them were thinking, or a speech bubble to show what they might have said. Then create a poster about the 10 plagues sent to Egypt. Remember to include each one and the order that